A one, a two, a buckle my shoe.
I hear the drums echoing tonight. She hears only whispers of some quiet conversation. I'm coming in 12:30 flight. The moonlit winds reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation. I stopped an old man along the way, hoping to find some old forgotten words of ancient melodies. He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy, she's waiting there for you. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I press the reins down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never had. Thanks, Ashley. The wild dogs cry out in the night as they go restless, longing for some solitary company. I know that I must do what's right, as sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. I seek to cure what's deep inside, frightened of this thing that I've become. Come on, chat, sing it. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. Come on, chat. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I press the reins down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never had. Hurry, boy, she's waiting there for you. I can hear them snoring down in Africa. It's gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. I don't snore. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. Yes, I do. It's a lie. I press the reins down in Africa. I press the reins down in Africa. I press the reins. I press the reins down in Africa. I press the reins. I press the reins down in Africa. Gonna take some time to do the things we never had. A buddy of mine thought it was I Guess It Rains Down in Africa. I guess it rains down in Africa. I guess it rains.
Hello and welcome to the Music Community Podcast. I am Dan Drumstone here with Random Girl Singing. Hello. And we are absent a Doc Bizzle today. We're very sad, but he sends his hellos to everybody. He's had a very busy week and he's going to spend some time with family, which is totally understandable. It's that time of year. But we are joined, I guess we do kind of have like four seats full because we have two guys on one couch.
Just one couch.
Welcome, guys. How are you guys doing?
Man, we've got so much snow flying around right now.
We're cold.
So jealous. I'm so
We're
jealous.
cold.
How cold is it where you guys are?
It's been anywhere from 25 degrees to negative numbers. The past
wow.
week.
Yeah,
you,
it was.
You guys are in
minus
Michigan?
10. Yeah, northern Michigan, yeah.
Northern Michigan. Well, Corey, your sweater looks very festive, and you look quite cozy.
Thank you very much. I feel very cozy right now. Just feel real fuzzy.
We never wear sweaters on stream because we always get hot while we're playing instruments, but every other time it's sweater weather, so we're always wearing sweaters.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do on Twitch? If people come to your channel, what will they see when they walk through the door?
Well, we'll see two guys on a couch, more than likely, with luscious beards, playing some music that you may or may not know for your enjoyment.
Yeah, Corey, I mean, that pretty much says it. We like to keep a light and open mindset in our channel and just have fun, and you know, we take shots of alcohol and slap each other in the face and sing songs like chickens and just play fun music and just keep the environment light and happy, and that's what we're all about. So
Nice.
That sounds awesome. How long have you been streaming, and how did the channel get going? How did you learn about Twitch?
We've been streaming for about a year and 3 months. I guess I could say that I'm not really sure how Matt discovered Twitch. We probably both figured out about it around the same time because a good friend of ours actually went to work for the company, a friend that we both kind of grew up with. So once that happened and I kind of heard through the grapevine that they were starting this creative section, I started streaming out in Portland, Oregon, where I was living currently at the time. I had already known Matt prior, but did a couple of streams out there, and once I moved back here, kind of decided it was a good idea.
yeah, so Corey pretty much said it. Same thing. One of our good lifelong friends, his name on Twitch is Pixel Lumberjack. He grew up with both of us through, well, I wouldn't say grown up, but you know, our early adult lives, we knew him, and probably about a year before Corey and I started streaming together, I was doing my own streams. It wasn't really taking off. I was doing it like 2 days a week and doing the acoustic thing. I was using like a Blue Snowball mic, and
Classic.
that was pretty much it. Me and my guitar. I was pretty inexperienced, and we'll get into it a little later too, but it was just mostly a release for my mental health, and just, you know, playing my guitar and giving me a reason to pick it up and play. So but once Corey moved home to Michigan, and Corey and I started hanging out again, we kind of just got together, and we had both been doing the stream thing. We were like, hey, why don't we do a duo thing? Like, this will be fun. We'll hang out, and two of us at once, and kind of feed off of each other and have fun with it. And we were like, hey, what should our name be? And we were trying to think of something extra witty and kind of funny, and made a play off of a certain online video, and we became Two Guys, One Couch. And we were like, hey, we're two guys sitting on a couch playing music, so Two Guys, One Couch. All right. So that's pretty much the origin story, and then it's all up or downhill from there, whichever perspective you'd like to see.
It's uphill. You guys are great.
Yeah, you are.
Thank
you.
you guys.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the couch, though. I'm always curious. Like, is it an old couch?
Yes, make and
or-
model,
So,
What are the
please.
origins?
So we stream from my apartment. This is Matt. The couch actually was the previous owners of my apartment. It was his couch, and when I moved in, he was like, dude, this couch is humongous. It's a sleeper. Like, I don't want to move it. Like, give me some money for it, whatever you want. I was like, $30. And he was like, all right.
Nice.
So $30, I got this couch, and I've
Typical.
just had it forever. Like, it's not like a super comfortable couch. I mean, it's the couch that every single like family has had in American history. Like, it's that couch. And it's perfect for us. Like, I like the green tone of it, and then we throw the sheet on it that, you know, we write all of our subs and donations and stuff on, and you know, it works for us. it's Old Faithful. That's what we call it.
I love that the couch has its own origin story in
Yeah,
addition
absolutely.
to the streamers.
It's also been customized a little bit. We
What?
Yeah.
We've got it up on risers.
I say you raised it, right?
Yeah. So because it sits so low, like it's because
It's a lowrider.
Yeah, it's a low rider. It's hard for us to get like good breast support sitting so low. So we put it on risers, and then the hider sleeper in it is just complete crap, and it's like all like it's just all like blown out and womped out because this couch is probably from like 1970 something. So we put like a board. We put like a board underneath the cushions to like give it more support, and it's had some improvements over the last close to a year and a half of us streaming. So we're still sticking to it.
I think it'd be pretty awesome if one day you guys are streaming and in chat, this guy comes in and is like, "Yo, that's my couch." The old tenant pops in.
So he actually, when we first started streaming, he used to come in there quite a bit because him and I used to work together.
Nice.
But he hasn't been around in a while. But yeah, he used to come in there and say, "Hey, that's my couch." Like, oh. So absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
We'll sell it back to you. $6 million.
$6 million, yeah.
Viewer giveaway. Free to enter, but you have to come take it.
Right.
Now, how long have you guys been doing music? When did you guys get into playing or singing, all that kind of stuff?
So obviously growing up in a Christian family, I've been singing my entire life, just in church. And once I got into high school, really my music teacher really pushed me into developing my voice, and I performed in, solo and ensemble competitions, and eventually that led to all-state honors choir competitions and stuff like that. I didn't pick up a guitar until I was probably about 24, and I was just looking for, it's fun to sing in the guitar or sing in the car and, keep my voice going that way. But I really wanted something else to accompany my voice and, pick up chicks at college. So I picked up the guitar and, learned some chords.
The secret weapon.
Yeah. Eventually it turned into more of a hobby. And, so yeah, I've been playing guitar for probably about 6 or 7 years on and off, and, singing my entire life. What about you, bud?
I guess you could say I did what you'd call singing when I was really young. Didn't really do it a lot though. Was in a church choir when I was really young. Eventually I started playing piano, and I took lessons for 1.5 years, and then kind of self-taught myself all the way through college. And I picked up the French horn when I was in 6th grade. I played that all the way through school. Did pretty well with that. And decided to get a guitar in 2000. I actually got it as a gift. It was an electric. Got it as a gift in 2006, I think. 2008, 2006. One of those years. Yes, 2006. And then I got an acoustic in 2008. And that's when I really started, was like, oh, I should start singing sometime. And I just said that every time I played guitar until like 2012.
Nice.
So I've been kind of singing and playing guitar. I've been singing about half as long as I've been playing guitar. It's been a lot of fun, and it's actually, I used to like piano more. Now it's kind of taken over that slot in my life.
Nice. That's cool. Have you guys known each other for a long time, or?
Yeah, we've known each other for quite a while, but it was kind of like we met very briefly at one point, and we saw each other in and out, like here and there, in like around the high school days, and a little bit after high school as well. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how we knew each other. Is one day my friend brought me over to, I think it was his brother's house, actually. We were like just hanging out, and so it was like a friend of a friend thing, and we got along just fine. And then we kind of like would see each other out, or we had a big group of friends we'd always go out with, and we'd run into each other. And So that's kind of how we met. And once I knew I was moving back to Michigan, the particular city we live in, Matt's the only guy that I know that lives here. So it's about an hour and a half away from our old, the first place that we met. So we decided, we were like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to be best friends now.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, it's been probably 10 or 11 years that we've known each other. But I mean, we really got close once he moved home, and we didn't start the stream thing for probably four months.
Yeah, it was a while. We talked about it. We knew it was going to happen, but I came back in early summer, and I just wanted, after I got back, I definitely just wanted to kind of tune out for the summer and have a fun summer. And I'm sure Matt was on the same ship as I was on.
Right. Yeah.
And then once fall started rolling around and it started going to school was when we had talked about it, so we already knew what we were going to do. As far as, we were just like, yeah, we'll get our guitars and we'll jam and it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I often find that it can be kind of difficult having musical chemistry or shared musical tastes with people. What a coincidence that just the two of you are in the city. Was it pretty natural for you guys to jam together? Was there a lot of musical taste overlapping? What was it like to first get started working together and playing together?
So the nice thing about Corey and I is we have a lot of that same musical taste. But at the same time, like he has another broader taste in other things, and so do I. So that it's nice because that gives us a lot more content, and a lot of the things that that I knew initially going into the stream, and that Corey knew initially going into the stream. Now we've learned together, and that gives us a lot more songs and a lot more of a variety in our stream. Like I grew up, my dad was like a big country fan growing up. He's really big into like Georgia country, like Alan Jackson or, Garth. My mom loves
Heck
Garth
yeah.
Brooks. So I definitely,
yeah.
I definitely know like a lot of country, but Corey doesn't know a lot of country. And people come in and are like, you guys play any country music? I'm like, yeah, I'll play some country music. Like, sure, not a problem. But like somebody will come in and say, hey, do you guys know any, I don't know, Thrice, or do you guys know this random weird Mumford & Sons song? And I'm like, I don't know that song. And Corey will be like, yep, and just play it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And I'll pick up the bongos and, play along and try and sing harmonies. And, we make it work. But yeah, that's a really great question. We feed off of each other really well. And that's the bonus part of being a duo is we double up on our content. So
yeah. Another thing too is in our infancy, it was kind of like we were a toddler learning to walk, just because we didn't really we hadn't played together a lot. And once you start to play with somebody a lot, you really, not only do you guys really feed off of each other, but you can like understand what you're going to do next.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when that intuition really shows now, when we play a song that we've never played or play a song that we played very rarely, we'll do something very different than maybe the song normally is if it's a cover, and it always seems to work out pretty well. So that building that intuition with each other and that understanding when we play has been really interesting and unique, and I really enjoy that.
That's pretty great. So how much of your repertoire during any given stream is off of a song list, and how much is improvised or live learned or learned live right there?
Probably most of the stuff that we play is off of a song list. Probably I would say 90% of what we play is off of our song list. It really depends on our mood. Like some days we'll just come in and people will make random requests, and we'll just be like, oh yeah, sure. It kind of depends on the feeling of the stream too, how chat's running, or if it's running real quick, or if we have a bunch of subs,
how many requests we have.
Right. Yeah. So we kind of play it off of that. If it's a slower stream, or people will come in and say, hey, can you guys do this song? And we're like, sure, yeah, we can give it a go, and we'll listen to it and try and muddle our way through it. So
Yeah.
We do a little bit of like improv stuff too, where I'll just play, you know, a random 4-chord thing and Corey will, you know, shred over it. Or we'll do you know, we always start our stream every time Corey does like a looper thing, and he'll improv a big long 10 minutes long of just random improv guitar with a couple built-in like little loops. So we do a little bit of the improv stuff, but yeah, most of our content, like 90% of it, is probably off of our song list for sure.
Yeah. We do yeah, just like Matt said, if somebody requests something and it's like relatively slow in there, we'll listen to it and give it a try.
Nice.
Especially if we know it. If we've heard the song before, we'll absolutely, there's a 95% chance that we're going to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, we have a huge song list, but I mean, if somebody comes in and, you know, requests something that Corey and I both heard, you know, a throwback, you know, 90s jam that's by like some random band, you know, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll and just like pull the chords up and just, you know, kind of noodle over it and play it, and people love it because they don't expect it. And, you know, that's again, like what you had said before, that's where our, you know, him having such a huge music taste and my huge music taste from like a different, you know, those different genres, that's where we can really kind of drive that, you know.
He's a little bit country, I'm a little bit rock and roll.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, you mentioned like singing in school, growing up in a church. Did you guys ever do kind of what you're doing now, like with the guitars and singing? Did you ever do that outside of Twitch ever, or did you ever get into that?
I played piano for my parents' church growing up from about 13 to 16. I really didn't sing very much at all. That's why I played the piano. I was like, yep, you can hear this voice. This voice of the voice of the piano. But I did that until I was about 17, 18. And then also I co-hosted an open mic in my hometown with a really good friend of mine who I actually ended up moving out to the West Coast with. We were in a little band together. So that was about as far as it went before the stream. The stream has definitely been the most consistent, especially like compared to gigging or anything really. This is like the most consistent, and in my opinion, one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. I feel like the community we have is very unique and special, even compared to like a lot of other, you know, just a creative community is a wonderful place to be.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
As far as like, you know, what I've done outside of Twitch musically, really not much. Like, you know, obviously what we talked about when I was in high school doing the, you know, the Stolen Ensemble and stuff. But, you know, after that, you know, I was in the military. I came home. I started school for 5 years, 6 years. And then, you know, started my job. And I was just busy. Didn't really have time for music. When I was in school, I did lights and sound for a band, and that was really it. I didn't really do a lot of music stuff, and I you know, I wish I would have, because I regret it every day not picking up a guitar when I was 18. But yeah, just like Corey said, you know, doing what we do on Twitch is like so rewarding for us times a million compared to what we put back into the community, and we get so much out of it, and it's such a blessing to have such an amazing community, you know, all around us every day. And I'm addicted. Like it's I'm addicted to the positivity. That's what it's all about. And, you know, I'm head first all in with it, and it's awesome.
So describe, well, let's back up a little bit. Matt,
Sure.
You are a combat veteran.
I am. Yeah. I joined the Marines in 2005, right out of high school. I was a reservist, came back to my unit in 2000 or December of 2005, after all of my training and everything. And my first sergeant said, we're going to Iraq in May, right? So I was
Sounds
19.
familiar.
I was 19, or I was 20 when I stepped foot, or not, I was 19. I'm sorry. I was 19 when I, got off the plane in Iraq, and I am a combat veteran. So
I mean, when you look at a 19-year-old today, looks like a kid. It's
I was definitely a kid. Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't have the beard, that's for sure.
No.
And that's and I know on your stream you're very open about mental health awareness, and you very much advocate for openness and vulnerability and sharing and letting people know that they don't have to feel alone or isolated in those feelings. And I also feel that, coming from, this big, tall, luscious, bearded, veteran guy, I can imagine that that's very, very powerful for some of the viewers. Has it been like that for you? Did you open up much before streaming, or did streaming sort of and music sort of act as a catalyst to kind of help get those feelings out?
That's a really good question. So when I came home from Iraq, I was so busy with school, and I was so distracted by everything that was going on with my life that I didn't really take the time to, to heal myself in the way that I needed to. When I was in the Marines, they always taught us to, put those feelings aside and man up and, mission first, blah, 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 put your, whatever you're dealing with in the corner and focus on the mission. And, I kind of brought that home with me, and, eventually that monkey on my back, became a monster and started to eat me alive. And then, a few years later, I had a really, really horrible episode and time in my life. And, I talk about it quite a bit on the stream. Maybe once a week, I really dive into it and, open up about it. But, so when I came out on the other end of that, I began to heal myself and become more open about my feelings and more open about what I was dealing with. But music definitely gives me a platform to release a lot of that emotion. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm so comfortable, talking about things on stream, because I'm so relaxed, when I'm singing and when I'm playing, and I just want to open up and bear those feelings to the world. And it's music is such a mental health release for me. And it just, I can just put all that emotion and all that pain and angst and heartbreak into my music, even if it is just covers, and it, just being able to put that anger into my voice and then, singing out loud, that it's so important to me. And yeah, that's really it.
Well, it takes a lot of strength, and I commend you. It's very inspiring. And I can imagine that it's a natural connection. People would not listen to music if it weren't so personal, and if it did not connect to you emotionally. So, some people might think, oh, discussing mental health, in this sort of a venue. No, but I think it seems like a perfectly natural connection. Do you get messages from people?
So actually in our Discord, we have a channel in there called You're Not Alone. And that's like our big platform in our community is, you are loved. Your life is precious. You are not alone. As a community, not just as a community, Two Guys, One Couch, but as a Twitch music community, like we're all a big family and everybody knows that. And, all of our viewers understand that there's, they can go to anyone in the community and say, hey, I'm struggling and I need your help. And I want to talk about this. And, a stepping stone for that is in our Discord, we have that channel, You Are Not Alone, where people can go and just write their stories out. And it's just like a forum of an open judgment-free zone where people can come and talk about what they're dealing with. And, you know, our mods are amazing, and they're all so loving, and they're always so quick to respond to people. You know, sometimes with Corey and I being so busy that we, you know, I don't check it as much as I'd like to, but everyone is so loving, and, you know, people have been through so much, and you just don't know. And then when people, you know, pour their feelings out onto paper, for a lack of a better term, you know, onto that forum, you know, it's helped me so much to see what other people are dealing with and how they're dealing with it. And it's just such an incredible thing seeing people struggling, and then, you know, just saying, hey, you know, we're here for you. And, you know, that, I don't know, it might've saved someone's life. So it's really a really special thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, when I started streaming, for Twitch in general, like I would just watch like a Destiny streamer every now and then. I didn't really dive into Twitch too heavily, so I wouldn't really pay attention to chat. You know, I would just kind of log in and kind of watch, and I'd say hi maybe or something. It wasn't until I started streaming that it hit me, you know, the people that are coming in aren't always going to be like, hey, what's going on? You know, people are going to have bad days, or people with anxiety issues and that struggle with depression. You know, that was something that kind of caught me off guard when I first started. It's not that I wasn't, you know, naive to it. Like, family members have dealt with it, and I've dealt with it in real life with people, but to deal with it on this end, in this medium, it was different at first for me. And then to hear how people react and say, you know, I don't like going out into public, and your stream is like, I actually talk here and I love it. The music, it's like just seeing you happy and enjoying music and the other people in chat. And I think that's really special. And how you guys are so open with it, and that you stress that in your stream. Every time I've been in there, you guys are always bringing it up and talking about it. It's pretty cool to see like how it affects people.
Yeah. I like what you said about that. You know, the people that definitely, you know, have social anxiety, or, you know, just don't like to get out very often. That's definitely something I have at certain points. I just don't want to, you know, I don't like big crowds, but if it's worth it, I'll do it. But, you know, suffer a little bit of anxiety from that. And that's totally, you know, those people that are coming in, like, that's something I could totally relate to. And it's nice if you're behind a keyboard, you don't have to deal with that anxiety, and it feels kind of intimate because you're just seeing that person. And that's when I saw somebody, you know, that one of the first music streamers I saw, I was like, man, this is so cool. And, you know, I felt like it was, you could feel that connection, and like we've really built that up in our community.
Yeah, for sure.
Was it a natural progression, opening up like that? Do you remember when you first started doing it? And then once you did open up like that, do you remember feeling a little bit of remorse about it or insecurity about it? Like, is this going to drive people away? You know, a little bit of anxiety about it, or was it pretty natural to just right out the gate start talking about those topics?
I'll let Matt elaborate about when. I'm trying to think about when. I think it was probably.
So specifically, I think I remember when, you know, when I decided really that, okay, we're going to do this, and this is going to be our thing. I don't know if you guys know Stephanie Jones. Her Twitch name, you know, is
LV now.
LV now. She changed it, but she wrote a song. ELVIE. She wrote a song called Anxiety. And the first time I ever heard that song was on her SoundCloud, and I remember just breaking down after listening to it, and just realizing that her music and that, you know, that message that song carried is so important. I was like, okay, I need to cover this song, and this song needs to carry a message, and we're going to carry that message into the stream, and we're going to talk about it, and it's going to be important, and this is so important to talk about. And that was really like the turning point when, I mean, we had talked about it like a little bit here and there. If somebody came in and was like, oh, we're having a bad day, or like, just like you guys talked about, you know, and then we would be like, oh, you know, come, you know, if you need to talk to somebody, like, you know, we're around, or blah, blah, blah. But really when I heard that song and I said, this song needs to be heard around the world, and I need to play it, and we need to talk about it. That was really like the turning point where we really started to create like a platform for You Are Not Alone, and really take it to the next level. Addressing the part where, you know, users might leave because they're not comfortable being around that talk. You know, if they're not comfortable with that, that's perfectly fine, and they're more than welcome to leave. But the way I see it is, there's a lot of people out there that need our help, and if they're struggling, they need that help, and they need to hear that message. And if people don't want to hear it, they're welcome to leave. And if they want to stay and support and be a part of the community, that's perfectly fine. But I'm not going to be sad or, you know, brokenhearted about people, you know, not wanting to hear it, because it's a strong message, and it needs to be heard. And
it's something I haven't ever thought twice about, really, because I feel like I'm doing a lot more good that way than just being an entertainer.
It's, you know, just right.
Simple.
Right, wonderful. Exactly. And I don't know if our growth has been stunted because of that, but like I said, I don't care, because this message means everything to me, and I never want people to have to go to the place in their lives where I did a few years ago. And if I can save a life by telling someone that they're loved and they're not alone and sending them a bracelet, then so be it. That's great. You know, so if people don't want to be a part of it, that's their loss, in my opinion. So
yeah. Well, my wife and I were talking the other night about like how musical therapy does, you know, that's a real world thing.
Sure.
You know, you can get a degree with music therapy, and it's done wonders for people with depression and just, you know, different levels of anxiety. As a music community and here on Twitch, how much growth do you think could come in helping people, like, or how much good do you think it's done since it's all kind of kicked off, the creative part of Twitch?
You know, it was funny because when Matt and I first started, we'd get really excited if we had like 12 people in our channel. And after we kind of started heading in the direction of you know, mental health awareness and whatnot, I said to myself, I was like, you know what, if we can even change or affect one person's life in a positive way, then it's more than worth it, in my opinion. Nice. You know, I not only want to, you know, let somebody know that they're not alone, but also I think it's inspiring to see, you know, creative people in Twitch doing things like that, and maybe it'll inspire someone to pick up a guitar and start using that as an outlet. I know when I play guitar and sing, especially if I'm alone, if I'm stressed out, if I have anxiety, it just is so calming. It just brings me right down, and it's like where I need to be. So if we can inspire someone to do that, or even if we can just be there and, you know, affect one person's life, that's more than worth it for me.
Yeah.
Man, you're speaking to my heart here.
He said it. He said it.
Seriously.
That's
and
it.
I know I don't really talk a lot on the stream. Matt kind of runs the show in the terms of talking. I'm usually pretty quiet and don't say much about this kind of stuff, just because I feel like Matt, the things that Matt has gone through, I feel like it's just so powerful. And you know, if you just stay in there and, you know, listen to a song or listen to what he has to say, it's just like, man, And so I'm usually just noodling around on guitar. And when I start doing that, my vocal skills shut off unless it's singing. So I'm usually pretty quiet, but it's definitely a team effort with our message and with relating with that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
I will say this though, Matt, at TwitchCon, I didn't really meet you guys like face to face before TwitchCon, but I was working the board, like huddled in my little corner, and you guys came in probably midnight, not at midnight, but like mid party.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah. It was later after things had gotten rocking. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so impressed by something that you did. Tea Leaf, she's a super talented streamer here on Twitch.
Absolutely.
But it was like I was so impressed, and I respect the crap out of you for doing this. But you were like, you guys need to hear her, and you were like, okay, she's up next. We got to get Tea Leaf to perform, or Tea Leaf. I'm sorry. And I was like, he's so sweet, and you were so caring and so like wanting to help, everybody, not just her, but. I thought that was really cool. I just wanted to mention that on the podcast.
Especially in an environment where there were so many, more established streamers there that were kind of like being highlighted throughout the evening. Yeah. And Tea Leaf is a little bit newer to Twitch, and her channel is still growing. That's pretty amazing that you were willing to stand up and say, hey, this is a voice that needs to be heard too.
You could have came in there and said, "Where's the mic? I want to do this and that." But you were like, "No, T, come on," and you were advocating it and just in such a cool way and looking after her.
Shy.
Yeah,
she is so shy. So she's a Michigan girl. She lives down south from us. Yeah. So we've had a chance to to get to know her and her good friend PJ, who's a regular in our stream. And she's so good. And
she really is.
Her voice.
I wasn't ready for her voice on the mixer. I remember she started singing. I'm like, whoa,
man. She has some pipes for sure, and she's getting the confidence there, and she just needed that little bit of love and a little bit of push to get up there and sing in front of. All those viewers that we had, and I just wanted to give her the spotlight, and I knew that she would just sit on the couch all night and not do anything. So I was like, get up here and do it right now.
But you did it in such a really nurturing way. I thought it was very supportive and very cool. You weren't pushy about it. You were very helpful, I think, and it was really cool to see. The whole time I'm like, this is so nice. I loved it. There was all kinds of stuff going on, but it was really cool. It was really nice to see. That's what
we're all about too. Like our community, we're just all about like being a big family and putting each other on each other's shoulders and just carrying the man next to you. No man left behind. That's like the military thing in me is, build a community, build a brotherhood, and don't leave anybody behind. And, Steph, you can absolutely relate to that, with your military background too.
Service before self.
That's right. Exactly. So, another part of that is, you've got to look out for number one too, but I am definitely, I like to consider myself selfless, and I try and carry the weight of everyone on my shoulders, but it's tiring at times, but yeah, that's just the person I am, and I can't help it. And that night I could see that she wanted to do it. She's just so shy. If you guys didn't know, she's only 17, like she's still in high school. Oh, wow. And I thought that it was awesome that she was there, and I just wanted to give her that spotlight that night. And she just needed that little bit of kick in the rear.
She brought it down.
She brought it down.
She did. She did.
So
I just remember reaching so fast for that fader when she started singing.
Oh yeah.
It's House of the Rising Sun, I think, and I was like,
yep, that's exactly what she's saying. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Her voice, super powerful.
I mean, you're obviously extremely invested in the community and extremely invested in what you give and all that. has that taken its toll on personal relationships?
So last week, my girlfriend and I ended our relationship, and it was for a lot of reasons, but part of it was because her and I just hadn't been spending as much time together. I work full time, more than full time, and drive a lot for my job. She's in school working, almost full time. And then on top of all that, in the evenings, 3 days a week, we're doing Twitch, and, it did wear on that relationship, but I wouldn't say that Twitch is the reason why, her and I ended our relationship. But, she also understands that, our community and the music community are huge parts of our lives too. They're my family, and, I'm not willing to give that up to save another relationship. I mean, there's always compromise, and I stopped streaming on Tuesdays because that was kind of like our just like a community game night where we would just hang out and play PUBG, or play Tabletop Simulator or whatever, and just kind of hang out with our mods and our subs. And I gave that up to try and spend more time, but there was definitely other factors, but trying to find a balance between Twitch and my job, and spending more time with my job is definitely challenging. And working full time and then streaming part time is definitely challenging. And if you're listening and you're a new streamer, and you haven't been able to find that balance, just take a step back from time to time and say, hey, am I sacrificing my mental health to grow my community? Because I mean, you have to look out for number one. You have to look out for yourself. You have to take mental health days. And that's so important. So just every once in a while, once a month, just say, hey, am I okay? Am I okay? Do I need to take, tell my community, hey, I'm going to take, a couple streams off and recuperate and focus on my outside life for a little bit of time. And along with that too, if you're a community member and, and you're a streamer that you're so invested in, you've invested, donations and subscriptions and, countless hours of your life into them. If they say, hey, I need to do this, just try and be understanding, and, just encourage them and let them know that it's okay that they, that they need to take those days and do it, because, I'm sure you guys can relate, that, you feel horrible. Like if I miss a stream, I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't want to miss a stream,
Yep.
And you just have to take those days and revitalize yourself, because you can't put your all into your content if you're not feeling 100% yourself.
Yeah.
So
that's such good advice, and I'm so happy that you said that. I mean, I know that I'm still working on my own balance and approaching my own self-care. It's a lot. It's a lot to juggle. How do you approach self-care from week to week?
Just like I said, just taking a step back and thinking about, what do I need to do to improve my mental health, and what can I do to fix the things that are wrong. There's some family issues going on. One of my my brother-in-law is really sick right now, and my sister called me because she knows I've dealt with so much, and she says, how do I deal with this? And I said, Doris, her name's Doris, wake up in the morning and get in the shower. And if you do that, you're winning. If you can take a shower and get out of the shower and brush your teeth in the morning, that is step one. And if you can do that, you're winning. Step two is go and make your bed. And if you're making your bed, then that is step two, and you're still winning. And then just day to day, if you can do that, if you can get up in the morning and shower and brush your teeth and make your bed, Like that, those are like, I know it sounds really ridiculous, but those are like the most important things. If I wake up in the morning, some days when I'm struggling, if I have like an anxiety attack or if I'm having a really bad day at work and I get up in the morning sometimes and I'm like, I do not want to shower. Like I just have no motivation. I don't even want to care about myself. And that I force myself to get in the shower every day. Not every day, but I'm showering every day, but
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not,
No,
I'm
I
not
know.
forcing myself to shower every day. But there are some days when I really don't want to, and that is the most important thing. Is caring about your physical self, and if you do that, then the mental self it'll help. So that's some advice
That's very
from me.
good
That's
advice.
what I've found.
Yeah.
You got any input, buddy?
No, you pretty much got
All right.
I noticed that my viewers, when I've felt that anxiety about missing streams or not being as present as I would like to be, they've often been very quick to point out to me that I need to keep in mind that any tips that I've received, cheers or subs, I already earned those. It's not a payment for a future thing.
Yeah.
A lot of them are constant, and I appreciate them saying that because, of course, it's not about the money and all that kind of stuff. But
Right.
when you do have subscribers, you do feel this need to show up more and give them the content that they're, you feel this unspoken kind of contract there. But
yeah. It's like that obligation that's like just hiding in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. So I feel like that's kind of a thing that I'm glad that some of my subscribers have told me is that, I sub to you because of what you've already done for me. I'm not subscribing to you with expectations. And for the most part, I feel like for me, I haven't set them up to have I've set the bar very low in some ways. You know what I mean?
You have not. Come on.
A little bit. I've still been working out the schedule thing. I really think that I want to take a similar approach to what Dan does and post my schedule weekly from now on so that I can, the past few weeks I've tried to stick to it. Okay, it's going to be this morning, this evening, this morning, this evening. And then, of course, when you have kids and things happen, and then there's, throw school into the mix, husband has work meetings or whatever, that's not going to work. So I'm going to try to make a better effort to manage my time. And for me, I think that means announcing a schedule week to week might be a good middle ground, going from no schedule to a very set in stone schedule. I think this might be kind of the perfect compromise for me. How do you guys approach scheduling?
Go ahead, Matt.
First, Steph, I absolutely respect you as a streamer parent. Like, you are incredible. Like,
It's incredible that you find
I don't
the
know
time.
how you find time to do it. Like, I have mad respect for you, girl. You are freaking awesome.
It's
and your
the
kids
husband.
Are so
it's
cute
the
too.
the support. It's the support.
Sure, yeah. But our schedule, so we've switched it around a couple times, but most of our schedule is set in stone. Like we stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. We try and stick to within an hour, 7 to 10 Eastern, 6 to 9 Eastern. We always try and stick to a certain schedule. And I think it'll be that way until we get partnered. And then, then we can kind of play with our schedule a little bit more. But I think it's important to be consistent with your viewers too. But at the same time, just like you were saying, you have to balance your life too. And, as a streamer, you have to, just like before, you got to look out for number one. And, trying to find that balance between stream and life, finding a schedule that works for you is important too,
Right. And
so, I mean, what works for us is, I'm normally home in the evenings and Corey's normally home in the evenings. So we stream in the evenings. If we can stream on a random Friday or a random Saturday during the day, we do, you know, but for the most part during the week when we like to stream, it's in the evenings, and we stick to that certain schedule.
The big thing for us too is I have some nights where I'm not available. So we kind of first started streaming on particular days of the week, and Thursday has always been our big day. It's like
Thirsty Thursday.
it's just our day. It's our big day. We rarely, if ever, miss a Thursday.
Right.
That we want to be on, and that's about to end.
Yeah, right.
What do you
We've got another
mean?
month. We've got a month. I just finished a semester of school, and so right now it's actually really awesome because I'm open every night and Matt's open every night. So we're gonna be together
Streaming every
a lot
night,
more.
Hit it
people.
hard. Yeah.
Oh man, I wish if my voice could handle it, I totally would, honestly, because I like I said, I'm all in. I eat it up and I love it. And I love being live, and I love hanging out with our viewers and our mods, and we're a big happy family, and I love spending time with them. But that's another thing too, trying to find, as a musician, like trying to find that balance
As a vocalist,
too.
is the
As a
big
vocalist, I'm sure you guys have heard me sing there. I sing some grungy stuff and I let it loose sometimes. Nirvana, and we do like War Pigs, Black Sabbath.
You got a belt on you. That's for
I
sure.
let it out
Yeah,
sometimes.
you can.
And sometimes I like really get into it if I'm having like a rough day, and I like let it out. But then after the stream, I'm like, crap. And then I'm like down in the honey, and I'm down in the tea. I'm like, fix this, please. I got to stream tomorrow.
You can't take a cortisone shot to your vocal cords.
No. So yeah, I mean, that's tough. And we totally would stream every night if we could, but it's exhausting. It is. It's a lot of work. So
Yep.
Yeah. Do you guys, because we mentioned like new streamers and stuff like that, and people that have a little anxiety issues. Corey, do you have any advice for someone who really wants to get into streaming? It could be gaming or the music side of things, but maybe they are a little leery of when they hit, start stream, and they're worried about what can happen. Do you have any advice or suggestions for them?
Yeah. I think the biggest, most important thing is unless you're putting on a show for people, just be yourself, because you're going to wear yourself out being somebody that you're not.
Yep.
Unless you're an actor, even then, everybody has a breaking point. But just be yourself, and don't. Personally, what I do is I don't set any expectations. I don't like to look at anything after the stream. Typically, sometimes I'll look at like views and stuff, but I mean, especially when you're starting out, don't set any expectations, and you'll have nowhere to go but up. And
advice.
it's actually, in a way, when you're streaming and you're new, it's nice because the people that you have in your channel that come in, you're going to build a really intimate relationship with them because you're not getting so many messages on your screen that you can't keep up.
Yeah, so true.
right.
But that's what I would say. And it's as long as you're just yourself, you're going to attract the group that you want. That's that simple. And I think if you have if you're getting too stressed out about it, maybe you should take a day. But definitely just getting yourself out there. Just saying, what do I have to lose? Nothing.
Yeah.
And
Right.
going for it.
Yeah.
That's especially if you're just a musician or if you're a gamer, either way, that's a good attitude to have. And just don't set your expectations. At least for us, we're not trying to run a business. We're trying to create a community. I guess that's the best way to look at it too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even in the real world, like I see people who've been playing instruments forever, and they're about to go on stage and they're just shaking,
Oh yeah.
And it's anxiety, no matter how long you've been doing it, no matter how many people you've done it for, it could be one or 10,000, people still have that feeling. So to just do it. It's very good advice.
I mean, I get nervous every single stream. I mean, especially if we get like a big raid or something, like my anxiety would be like it skyrockets. But like our community is so good at like reminding us that that we're just having fun and we're loved, and our mods take care of the trolls. Like it's great. So
we don't even get that many, to be honest. People that are negative.
Yeah, it's like the people that come into the community are 99.9% of the time they're great. So expounding on what you said, Dan, when Corey and I first started streaming, we made a little bit of a commitment between ourselves, and we said, you know what, as long as we're having fun, we're going to keep doing this.
The minute it's not fun, it's too much.
The minute it stops becoming fun, the minute that it isn't fun anymore, it's work, and we're going to stop.
We're going to need to change it or stop.
Yeah. And we've always had fun with it. And we just keep that attitude. And, I'm a firm believer that if you're, just like Corey said, if you're yourself and you're just having fun, like, people will gravitate to that positivity, and, just be happy. And, even if you're looking at your viewer count and you have 2 people in there, act like you have 100, and people will come in there and gravitate to your positivity. And that's what it's all about. That's what people want.
And that's something too. I when we get a big group of people in there, I get excited, but since it's the way it is, I don't get nearly as much anxiety that I would get from like real life. And performing, out gigging or whatever, it's so inconsistent. I've had times where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna nail this, and then I'm like, have a ton of anxiety before. Or I have times where I'm just like, yeah, done this a lot, and then I just go out there and everything's fine. But I always notice that when you go out there, if you have a little anxiety at first, once you start getting rolling, everything just seems to fall into place. Like it like completely goes away after like a song or two. It's just like, and then you're just home free.
Yeah. I'm so happy that you guys brought up those points, being yourself and having fun. Because then the growth is authentic and it's sustainable. The people who are there, they know what to expect when they come there, and I especially love that you said, being yourself. You're going to wear yourself out pretty quickly. Try to be something that you're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's so many questions that come from people about what kind of content would help drive growth, and what could I be doing differently? What do people want? Should I do this or should I do that? So to hear that reinforced by you two, who've had significant growth in the past year, is pretty good stuff. I think it's important because, what are we all doing here if we're not here to have fun?
Exactly.
Yeah. I took off. I forget, it was a couple weeks ago, because I've never had like a viewer count thing. I've never, when I go live, like I don't want to see the numbers either, Corey. I'm like, I just want to hit start and hit stuff and make noise. But there's a command in Nightbot that you can hit exclamation stats. And every now and then people would turn that on and it would say how many people in there. And I'm like, I don't want to know that, So I like disabled it, and people kept, trying to turn or to use it. I'm like, nope, I turned it off. Like, I don't care. People will come in and say, wow, there's a lot of people here today. And I'm like, cool,
Neat,
Yeah, that view count, it can be helpful sometimes, to reinforce like, okay, this content felt good.
Yeah.
But was it received the same way that I felt like I was putting it out there?
Yeah.
Right.
And, it is kind of nice to help inform that, but it should, I believe, be taken with a grain of salt, and that the primary focus should be doing what you feel like you enjoy doing.
Yeah, because we were talking stuff, like something we wanted to talk about a little bit on the podcast, and we could do it again with Doc, but like the grind and how, like you were saying stuff, like some people complain about the grind, or
they call it a grind, and that term always kind of hits me a little bit the wrong way, because I commuted to DC. An hour there and 2 hours home every day to work a to work a really, really unsatisfying job just so that I could pay the bills. That was a grind.
Right.
Same. what I'm doing right now, this is freedom.
Living the dream. That's
It
what
is.
it is. It's so awesome.
Right. Yeah, and I completely agree with you, Steph. Like that word, the grind, that I associate grinding with working. And if you're grinding your streams, you're not having fun, and it's work. And you should change your attitude or change your content and have fun. Like, it's all about having fun. And like,
don't you want to love your job? If you consider it a job, then you should definitely love what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're listening to this and you've used that word before and you're a music streamer, please don't take it personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a word. But I have seen it used in context of, I'm here grinding away, and I don't believe that that's what viewers are really looking for is for somebody to be grinding. At the same time, I do realize that there are some folks paying their mortgages with a stream, and they have to find that balance between having fun, but also figuring out what's going to drive revenue. And I can imagine that's a pretty delicate process, and it might be nice in the future to bring on some people who...
I have no input on that because, like I said, Corey and I both work full time, and that is our main revenue stream. And every dollar that we've ever been donated, or from our subs or from bits or anything, has all gone back into
the stream.
Into the stream. Is we funded our TwitchCon trip. We got new really nice guitars.
Yes, you did. They're gorgeous.
Yeah. That the guitars are like our babies for sure, and it means that much more that that our community loves us that much that they're willing to help us, have that dream and have since I started playing guitar, I've been drooling over a guitar like that. So it's definitely really awesome.
I never thought that was a mountain I would summit anytime soon. If somebody would have came up to Matt and I and said, like in a year from now, when we first started streaming, you're not going to believe like the community that you have or what you'll be able to do because of the community support. And that's something that we definitely don't have any. I can't relate at all because, I'm a part-time student and a part-time employee, and it's this isn't paying my bills at all. So if it was my livelihood, I think I'd probably have to approach it a little differently, but that principle of having fun would not change if I chose to pursue streaming full time.
Yeah, sure.
Like that word community, like and going to TwitchCon and all that stuff. What did that mean to you guys? Like, how did that maybe change your perspectives? Or because I mean, I came away from TwitchCon with this idea. I'm like, I want to know more about these guys. I have a million questions for everybody. Like, I just fell in love with everybody on a different level, I think.
Absolutely, Dan. Like that is exactly how we feel. Like the community is before TwitchCon was definitely my drug. And like when I went to TwitchCon, like I got really high, really high, and
the
like
good stuff.
It's the good stuff, and I just want to know more, and I want to be in everybody's stream. Like I just like I seriously love it, and I feel the same way. Like I want to know everything about everyone. Doc, I'm sure you guys know, have started planning that musicians meet up in Tennessee in January. Yep. I'm pretty positive both of you guys are going to be there.
Yep.
I will.
Cannot wait.
And you guys are going to be there too?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we're coming. So we he started
we're
planning
gonna break
that
Tennessee.
Literally, Doc started planning that the week after TwitchCon. And
I felt the same way that like when he was making these plans, because I was like, man, especially that last night when we had at Trevor 88 Bits house, after that I was just, you got to, not only was I like so happy to like spend time with these people that we both have spent time in each other's channels, or it was so nice to finally have that connection. Yeah. being around those people, but like getting to know people that maybe I didn't even know about, or like, you know, don't know that well at all. It was so nice, and all it does is just solidify our community and the togetherness of like musician streamers on Twitch. I feel like it's something that's it's almost like I can't really compare it to anything, because I feel like it's a little more cutthroat out in the real world with musicians, you know. It's like here everybody's we're all there in a way, we're all on the same team, and you know, and that finally getting to meet everybody was just so wonderful. Like after that I was like, oh, we needed like 4 more nights at Trevor's while we were here, you know. Like that's
I don't know if his roommates would have liked that.
Yeah, probably not.
I just felt like I was just like Matt said, I was drunk off the vibes that I was getting from, you know, like it was so nice and so heartwarming, and I loved everybody. And
that's amazing. I mean, I know that and a lot of other people, whenever we see somebody new, like a new musician we've never seen on Twitch before, the first instinct is never like envy or, you know, like I have to make sure this person doesn't like overshadow me. Like we're always going to their channel saying, oh, do you need help setting up a song list? Here, join this Discord community. You're really good. Hang on, let me host your channel.
Right.
You know, adding everybody on Discord.
Discord and shout you out and tell my
let me go
community
shout
to
you
go check
out.
you
Let me go
out.
talk about on Twitter. And that's super unique. And, you know, one time, I think it was Christy Cates when she first started, and she's a very talented singer-songwriter. She started and we were kind of like helping her along, and she and I were discussing some things on Discord, and she said, this is so much different than what I expected. Not that I had expectations, but there's just not this feeling of competition here or anything like that. And I said, well, what is there to compete? Because we are all different people with different talents, different strengths, different voices, and we are all broadcasters. And finding a musician that you like and their music style and their voice that you like is extremely personal thing. Then add on top of that, finding a broadcaster whose personality and outlook and the way that they run their channel, you're always going to find somebody different. Nobody's going to be the same. I don't need to worry about, you know, my community leaving me behind for somebody. And as you know, a lot of folks have tweeted before that have been in the streaming game forever.
Yeah,
they're like Mob Lord. He's a former Twitch admin. One of the things that he tweeted that I really appreciated reading was, they're not your viewers. You don't own them.
Yeah,
they go where they want, and you know, these folks deserve to have the content that resonates with them. So I always approach it with the mindset of that, you know, the people that are there with me because I'm their broadcaster, you know? And if they want to leave and watch another broadcaster, I'm happy for them that they found content that they love and want to support, you know? And I feel as though because there are so many viewers on Twitch, it's a global platform, we all have such different styles. I just don't feel that I just don't feel that competition, you know? I just don't see it there.
Yeah,
that's awesome advice, Steph.
Plus, I mean, the more people performing on Twitch, and you know, it makes our little category go up. You know, it makes people go, oh, there's a music thing that wasn't there under Dota 2 yesterday. What's this? You know, like the more
it's
people that
huge.
Yeah, it's growing, and people are figuring out that we're here if they haven't already. You know.
Right.
Because I know
and we
people
learn
that
from each other.
Yeah, and I know people that have been watching Twitch forever, you know, years, and they go, "There's a music thing on Twitch," you know, like I didn't know that. Like if you're just looking at those top couple streams when you log into Twitch or whatever, you know, it's growing, and the more the merrier.
Really big, yeah.
Plus,
Twitch
we can inspire each other. Like we can inspire each other in the upgrades that we do, or the way, you know, the tools that we use, or the little things that we do here or there. You know, I've noticed some people do some of the similar things that I started doing. You know, and like little things here and there, and I never take offense to it. I'm always really happy that they found a new thing that they can do on their channel to have fun as a broadcaster, you know? So I feel like that's definitely a great way to approach it, is to definitely look at it as a crowdsourced place where you can share ideas and where you can bolster each other and leverage your own community off of other people's communities. Not copycatting necessarily, but taking inspiration, because there are a lot of very smart and creative people in music doing really cool things.
Yeah.
You know, like
sure.
I have lights wrapped around my microphone stand. Well, I saw that from Chase Eagleson. I'm pretty sure he had some fairy lights, wrapped around his microphone stand. And I said, oh, that's nice. I think I'm going to do that. I doubt you took personal offense to that.
when I do my solo stuff on Mondays, I take from that. Like I looked at it's funny you mentioned Chase, because I looked at his stream and kind of what his ambiance is, and I was like, man, I want that. I want to make my stream look like that. So I did the lights thing, and I turn off our big bright LED lights that we have, and just let the natural soft white, from our Christmas lights and stuff kind of shine through, and it creates that little bit of ambiance. And somebody might look at that and say, ooh, that makes me feel all warm and cozy, I want to stick around. So it makes me feel warm and cozy, so that's what it's all about. It makes me feel comfortable, and then it might make the user feel comfortable too. Or the viewer, rather, not the user.
Yeah, you brought up you brought up the point about like you want to watch everybody's streams.
Oh man,
it's so hard. That's like one of the hardest things now after TwitchCon. It's like I discovered so many people, and I'm like,
it's difficult to even do that. And since our community has been growing so much too, we're finding it's harder and harder to pick somebody that we want to host. We usually try to pick new people, or people that aren't. We actually a lot of the time will like try to find somebody that doesn't have a ton of people and try to raid them like that way. But definitely that is a thing.
That's awesome.
That is really awesome.
I think I forget who it was. We hosted the night at 80-bit or at 88-bit's house. He's still on, and I hopped in his stream the other day. He had a lot more viewers, because I remember that night he had like one viewer or something. The name is.
I wish I remembered who it was.
The name is
we just rated him.
Did we?
Who was that? Tommy Knox.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That was him. We actually just rated him our last stream, and he's great.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
come a long way since.
He upgraded
in just a couple months.
A mic and stuff, and I'll never forget that, because he was just like, "Wait, what?
What's happening? I've never had this."
Yeah, and that's another awesome thing. Like, if you ever have a technical problem, or if you're trying to figure something out, it's so easy to find somebody who's willing to help here. That's another amazing thing. Like, if you're a musician listening to this and you want to come stream, you should.
Yeah. There's all kinds of people who love to geek out about that stuff. And at the same time, figuring out how to make everything work is very much a rite of passage for the streamer. You know what I mean? Everybody goes through it. So if you have been trying and you just, why can't I figure this out? Trust me, everybody went through it. Yep. It is a rite of passage. Even if you have the exact same software programs, even if you have the exact same setup, something's still probably going to be different. You'll find it's, you know what I mean? Everybody has a unique little beast that they have to figure out that is getting their music and their video synced, sounding good, and streaming, So it can be difficult, but yeah, you're right. There are a lot of people willing to help. And one good resource for that is the music community Discord server.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking.
If you are interested in joining that, please tweet at the Music Compod. Please tweet at us, send us a message, and we'll make sure that we get you in there. As long as you're a streamer that is trying, has streamed, or is really trying getting there, we would be happy to get you going.
Absolutely. Any any of the bigger streamers, when we first started getting going, we really leaned on, you guys had Allie, Richie in here, and we really leaned on them, Allie and Ryan, when we first started going, and they helped us out so much,
so very much
with everything, and besides hosting and rating us, but like technical questions and doing all that, and everyone is willing to put you on their shoulders and kind of carry you a little bit to get you going. And we're all a big family, and we're all here for each other, and that's the awesome thing about this community.
It's awesome.
Come January at nighttime, we're gonna be like, "Good night, Steph. Good night, Matt. Good night." Like we're all gonna be like, like the Brady Bunch
Good night,
or whatever.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. I'm bringing walkie-talkies.
It's gonna be like 30 minutes
right.
of good night. It's really fun.
So we talked about all the stuff we love. Let's talk about a little bit what grinds our gears. Let's gripe a little tiny bit.
Oh man.
Let's not get negative, but let's just let's be real. Let's have some real talk here, y'all. Okay. Matt and Corey, individually, I want you each to tell me one song that you never, ever, ever, ever want to have to play again. What song are you sick of getting a request?
This is easy for me.
What
Matt already
song your
knows my
eyes
answer.
just glaze over? Which one?
You know which one I'm gonna pick.
That's on the song
Oh, it's
list.
like-
That's on
that-
your
It's like the
song.
dating game. You should
That
guess
Rise
each
Again
other's.
song.
Okay. Yeah,
There's-
I
there's
wish
like
we would have
three
written
or-
it down, but
there's like 3 or 4 that.
yeah,
that
I know
Corey-
one. I know one that Matt would definitely prefer not to play ever again.
Yep.
It's a Garth Brooks song.
Yeah, it's Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. I mean, I love Garth Brooks, and he is so talented, but like that, whenever I sing that song, I just think of like 100 half-naked rednecks like, I got friends. and I don't know, I just like, I love Garth Brooks, and he's incredible, but that song just grinds my gears. And like, it doesn't get requested that often, but like Corey just trolls me with it all the time.
I start playing the beginning of it. He's like, nope.
Nope. Like every single time somebody comes in and says, "Can you guys do country?" and Corey just instantly do ding 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 ding. I'm like, stop.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a troll. You can tell what mine is, I guess.
It's that. Well,
Yeah, you were right.
that Rise Again song.
Yeah, probably "Swing Life Away"
Swing Life Away by
because
Rise Against.
I don't feel any relation to that song. It was like I learned that song early on, and then like I just don't like playing and singing it. I just don't like. There's just something about it. It's not that I don't hate the song or anything. I just don't particularly feel any connection to it. And then like so, and it gets requested like kind of a lot, and it's a song that I play by myself, and I'm like, okay.
So
Why don't you take it off the list?
Well, it just gets requested so much that
it
I'm
wouldn't
like,
even matter.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Somebody would come in and ask for it anyway.
And you know what the
probably.
worst part about you asking that question is, Steph, is that every single person who listens to this podcast is going to come into our channel, and the first thing they're going to request is Friends in Low Places and Swing Life
Yep.
Away.
They're-
Thank you so much.
Living
with a Kappa
memes.
face.
Yeah, most of the time we hear Creep,
Mad World.
Mad World, and
See, and I love
What's
those
the
songs.
big
Icy
one?
Fire.
no.
Icy
Hallelujah.
Fire?
Hallelujah. That's it.
Hallelujah. Yeah,
Oh, we
Hallelujah
like doing
is,
that
a,
together.
We
is
like
one.
doing that. Yeah, those
Oh,
are
I'm
all
sure you
songs.
guys
Having
kill
a friend
it.
to play those songs with is just like makes it so much better, because then you're not like it's kind of fun because you can like switch things up a little bit and like do things a little differently. And
Right.
that's like one thing I really like about what we have is that we kind of like we don't have a format really. We kind of feed off each other and like try something different or whatever, and it's always so much fun.
Right.
That's really cool. Like, you guys do have something that like broadcasters, never get to experience. Streaming together and growing together, that's got to be really exciting and really cool.
Yeah. And you guys have grown a lot. I remember when I first saw your stream, it was I think you guys had 5 or 10 viewers.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I think it was you. I don't even know if you each had a mic.
We shared
I
a mic
can't
at
even
first,
For
actually.
the
Yeah.
Yeah,
First-
I think you had one mic, and it was 5 or 10 viewers, I think, and I mean, it was still a fun stream, but I have to say that your musical talent and your chemistry together as broadcasters and your ability to interact and broadcast has seriously. Yeah, it's very noticeable the time and effort that you guys have put
Thank you
in.
so
And
much.
you were
Yeah.
talking about your guitars and your gear upgrades. What kind of guitars did you get? What kind of mics are you working with? What have you managed to accomplish in this past year?
It was awesome when we first started streaming. We used the camera that we're still using. It's a Logitech C920,
the standard.
the standard,
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a AKG C214 microphone, condenser mic, and that's all we used at first. And we didn't have anything else. We had a mixer, and the mixer was mine also. It's a Yamaha MG10XU. Wonderful mixer if you were looking to start streaming, by the
I think
way.
you have that same mixer, Steph.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I saw it on Tammy Black Media's stream, and I was like,
See?
I gotta
Coming
get me
back to
one of
that point.
those.
Hey, I see that. What are
Yeah.
you using?
Yeah.
That sounds good. Let's do it.
When I first started streaming out in Portland, that's I got that just for that reason, just for streaming. And then, like I brought all that stuff over, and Matt was using a Snowball, like he said, and then he had a mixer that he used for a while. And we were like, how are we gonna do this? We don't have any. We have one microphone. I was like, let's just use one mic and turn the gain up and just kind of watch it and see what happens. And it wasn't super awful,
terrible,
but like
yeah.
when it would go to like if Matt was playing chords and I had to play a solo, it's like if I didn't move up closer to the mic, you had to, it was like little nuances.
Yeah.
And then like eventually we got enough donations to get Matt a mic. And after that happened and we got pickups in our guitars, that's just like, that was the time that like, and that's another thing. Our old guitars, we changed the pickups in both of them. And that's something that we had pretty early on. Thanks so much to our, the support of our community and people in our streams. And then we got lighting, which is awesome. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot. We got a Focusrite. Focusrite, if you guys ever listen to this,
18.
I want you to fix it. But
Something's wrong with it.
yeah, I think it's a Focusrite thing. But we got bongos. We got this wonderful melodica that I play songs on, and we got really nice LR Baggs lyric pickups for our old guitars. And then once we got I can't believe that we actually ever got these new guitars. I still don't feel like mine is mine yet.
It's pretty surreal.
Yeah.
You guys went down to Rial's, right?
Yeah, we went down to
in his neck of the woods. to
Yeah,
get
we-
'em?
You got to go to the Sweetwater store,
Right,
didn't
yeah.
you?
So Rio
Lucky.
actually lives where that store is in the same town.
Yeah.
And takes like lessons and stuff at Sweetwater. So yeah, we were like, dude, we're crashing your pad and we're coming down and we're doing this together. So we came down and Deck the Halls, Holly, she's another creative streamer. She came and hung out with us too because she lives right around there. And yeah, we came down and we IRL'd like a couple times like on the way down there and just hung out and did car karaoke and just made like a big cool experience about it. And I went and got our new guitars and
tell me what you got.
So my
what'd you get?
guitar is a Taylor 414 CE Rosewood. It is a really pretty guitar. It's an heirloom guitar. I mean, I'm never selling it. My grandkids hopefully will play it someday. That's the ultimate goal. And I put it back in the case every night after we're done playing, and I wipe it down and shine it. And
I'm sure how you
Nah.
guys know.
Oh man,
I'm sure you guys know your babies are your babies.
yeah. I
you know?
mean,
Yeah.
man, we're so appreciative of our community for helping us out with that. But man, it's incredible to to think back at that stream when we hit that goal, and Corey and I like stood up and like hugged and like shed a little tear, and like we were just so stoked. Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah, it was a huge deal.
Corey, what'd you get?
I also got a Taylor. It was funny when we went down to the store. The first guitar I looked at was the one that Matt ended up picking up.
Yeah.
Just because
Nice.
I did so much research, and I was like, these guitars are really solid. These 414s are workhorses. You know, they'll last forever, and they sound great. But I had like been looking on Sweetwater for a long time. There was this other guitar. There was this other woman. And,
Boom, boom, boom.
and holy cow, was she attractive. So it was a Taylor 526 CE. The 500 series is currently now is made of rosewood, and so it's dark. It's a dark looking guitar, and it sounds dark. It doesn't have quite so much of the high end that a typical Martin or a typical Taylor would have. Rather, you know.
Yeah, they're very bright.
Yeah.
They're very bright guitars
And
usually.
that's usually like, I know a lot of musicians that like Taylors for that reason, because it just goes well with a voice. And this guitar that I got, it was a little warmer. It was a little warmer than
So
a
warm,
typical
yeah.
Taylor. And I was like, oh, what is this? You know,
Yeah, I like
this
this.
wood has actually changed the sound. So I
Yeah.
like, there were two different models, and one had I wanted a guitar with a cutaway because I like to get up there, you know, like an acoustic guitarist probably shouldn't do. And
He likes the noodle.
and it's so awesome because I got this cutaway that was like very special. It's called a Florentine, and it's got a little point on it. It looks like like the bottom of an SG, you know, almost.
Yep.
It's super cool, and it's very unique. You know, it's an eye catcher, and for me, the sound is great. But it doesn't. It's a little darker. It's like it got a little bit, and I feel like it complements my kind of vocal tonal range too. So like in a way, so it's fun, and it's I can't believe it's mine still. You know.
Oh, congratulations, you guys. And how wonderful that you got to get into that tone wood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not until you kind of get up there a little more that you're getting into the realms of like solid tone wood
Right.
Yep.
that you can actually hear the difference. And I recently upgraded my guitar. I didn't get a guitar quite as nice as what you guys got, probably not nearly, but I ended up getting a Paul Reed Smith acoustic electric. And I was looking,
I love their-
guitars.
they really
Electrics.
do. And
I've never checked out their
it just-
acoustics. I have to take a peek.
I hadn't either. I went there with the intention of probably walking away with something a little more high end. I was looking at the Taylors, the Martins, and everything. Picked up this all solid everything Martin mahogany, and it was just so nice. But no electronics in it. A little out of my price range to add some to it. So I just kept looking. I was really into the Koa Wood Taylor.
The GS
but it was
Mini?
a little. It wasn't the GS Mini.
it was just
I forget what series it is, but a beautiful guitar, and it's so crisp. That Koa Wood has that crisp trebly ring that it sounded really nice, but then I felt like it was competing with my voice, and I really wanted more lower end, and then I was about to just give up and walk out of the store, and I saw a fretboard with some birds on it. And I was like,
PRS, those PRLS
is that what I
inlasers.
think it is?
Oh man, I
Yeah,
love
they're
it.
beautiful, and I picked it up.
And the
It was
head
just sounded. It's
stocks.
and it's just a spruce top. I think it's rosewood back and sides. I don't think it's solid back and sides, but it sounds beautiful. So it must have been fun to go in there and experiment with the different tone woods
Oh
and
my
kind of.
gosh.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
I could spend days in there trying to fine tune what I was looking for. And
Doesn't it smell good in like the acoustic
Oh, man.
section?
I already
yeah.
like
Walk in.
going to like the lumber store or something because I'm just like, oh, it smells
Me
so
too.
I'm just gonna hang out here, guys.
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Smells like rich
That weird guy that
mahogany.
you see around Lowe's just walking around the lumber area,
Smelling,
Sniffing.
looking like a walking lamp.
He's a guitar
I know
player.
you
Just let him hang out.
Just let him do it. It's fine.
It's that messing around like that. And if anyone's listening to this that hasn't ever purchased a guitar, but you're thinking about it because you sing and you want to start getting into it, there are definitely you don't have to look for a giant super high-end brand. Like the first guitar I ever got, I had stacked against a Taylor and a Martin, and I thought it sounded better, and it was a Seagull.
Yeah. Allie plays a Seagull. Richie plays a Seagull. She loves
I love
it.
Seagull guitars, and and that it was like the same thing. I didn't set my mind on like one particular brand. I had to give everything a try in there, and that's something you should definitely do because I think for the value I got, my first guitar it was insane. I feel like I stole it, because it sounds so good. It's all made of wood. It's it's all there, and it sounded better, and it was cheaper.
Yeah. It's really, that's how I felt about my PRS. I felt it like it sounded better than a lot of those more higher end ones that I played. And honestly, if you can't tell the difference by ear between like a $200 guitar and a $1,300 guitar,
if it looks
or
if
more,
it plays good and it sounds
probably
good.
You're probably not ready for one. First off, you know what I mean. If your ear can't distinguish it, maybe you should hold off. But that's a great point to bring up. There are a lot of very affordable, nicely made guitars. You can always compromise by getting a guitar with a solid top of a tone wood.
Yep.
Instead of getting the whole back and sides with solid wood.
Right. And that was what my first Martin was. It was my second guitar. My first guitar was honestly like it was like a musician's friend, Black Friday, like $100, like came with a picks and the strap and like a tuner and stuff. It was an Ibanez $100 starter guitar, and that was like my first guitar. And I was like, you know what? I was like in college and I really wanted to play guitar, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy a crappy guitar and learn how to play. And I threw some Elixir strings on it and sounded, not half bad. And I just started playing it. And then my second guitar, I was like, okay, I really want a Martin. My mom had a Martin when she was growing up. I really want a Martin. So I was like, okay, I started looking, and just like you said, Steph, the top is solid Sitka spruce, but the back and sides are high pressure laminate HPL. And it sounded amazing. It sounded 10 times better than my Ibanez did. It sounded so much deeper and prettier. And then when I got home with my Taylor, and we sat those up side by side, and I strummed a G on my Taylor and I set it down on the floor, and 20 seconds later that guitar was still resonating that G. Then I really understood what that guitar was all about. And
that was something we did when we walked in. We played, and I was like, listen, we just time it. Time the resonance on this and it really does make a difference. It really, really does. And
oh yeah,
do you guys I got a question for both of you. Do you guys name your instruments?
Yes.
I have not. Yes.
Dan's got a name for every
Dan?
single individual drum.
No. Well, maybe I should. No. My mom's name is Barb. And this drum set that I play on, it's a very nice drum set I got when I moved out here to California. It's like, custom kit, everything. And my mom worked her butt off so I could have this.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I took a loan out before I moved, a personal loan, and I'm like, I'm going to work it off and pay it. And my mom, she had stopped working. And she was a stay-at-home mom my whole life, but she took on a job after I moved out here that I didn't know about just to pay this off.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Wow.
So her name is Barbara, this drum set, and it's
I love that.
I've played it.
That's cool.
I've taken it across the country. It's on all kinds of albums, and it's very, very special to me. So I do name my
that's
instruments.
Wonderful. That's such an. Maybe I should. I named my weapon when I went overseas. I named my M4 Scout. But other than that, I've never named anything. Yeah. But you're so right on about the resonance. People on the podcast can't see this, but yesterday, I upgraded my ukulele. And I went from, the Cordoba kind of starter ukulele to this one is a solid, it's all koa, everything, completely solid. And I came home and I played it, and my husband was like, "Oh my gosh, it's so loud, and it just rings." And the sustain, the other one I would play it and it'd be like, "Bring."
Steph,
and that was it.
Can you tell us how it smells? Can you smell it for us?
Describe it as best you can.
I'm picking up faint aromas of kitty litter and dry erase marker.
How about
stale
you guys?
coffee.
Did you guys name the new ones? The new guitars?
Well, tell them what you named your old one first.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've named every instrument I've had. I still haven't named the uke that I got, but the first acoustic I ever got, I named him Steven. I decided it was a him because it was a seagull, so it's Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then it's so ridiculous, man. Just rolls his eyes. And then
so good.
My new one I actually named Soul. Not like a soul, it's somebody's soul, but like the sun.
SOL.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's what I call it. So it's kind of
awesome.
neat though, because it's got a double meaning, like soul and then so. But yeah, I love that guitar so much, and I do name all of my instruments.
I actually didn't name my Martin or my Ibanez, but I did name my new guitar. Her name is Rosie, and I was trying to think of something based off of what it's made of, and it's made of the back and sides are made of rosewood. The top is sapelli spruce, but then I was like, well, how about Rosie? I like that name, and it kind of like plays off of Rosie the Riveter, and she's like a workhorse, and she's independent, and she's just a workhorse, and that's what that guitar is for me. So
that's awesome.
She's a strong, independent woman, and she does work.
That's awesome.
Well, y'all have inspired me. I'm going to name the PRS.
Yes.
Right,
on the podcast
right now.
Uh-oh.
Yes, we're going to name it right now.
Oh my god.
Princess.
I love it. Perfect.
Princess. Perfect.
It's a pretty guitar.
Princess.
It's very pretty.
Yeah.
I love those PRS inlays, and it's so funny that you said I saw that guitar with the birds on the fretboard, because my eye gravitates to that too. Like one of my friends has a PRS, and those inlays are so
and I was
pretty.
like, is that what I think it is? I didn't even know they did acoustic electrics, because you know what I mean? They're so renowned for electric guitars.
Yeah.
But I saw that and I'm like,
Yeah.
And it was marked down to 777.
Ooh, that's my
And
favorite
I
lucky
am
number right there.
Oh, I'm a numbers person. I am a numbers person. And when
for the number 7.
I saw those 777s and I was like, what? So I played it. I'm like, this can't sound this good. And I swear to God, this poor guy, he's trying to sit in there and noodle with some stuff in one of the private rooms at Guitar Center. I'm like, I'm sitting there playing my crappy stuff while he's trying to do finger. He finally left,
screw that guy.
I was persistent, but I'm like, come on, guy, I'm actually going to buy something
Exactly.
here. You're just here to
You're just here
noodle.
showing off,
You're just there to show off. Oh, they always do. And then that's how I kind of actually knew it was time to make the decision, was about 3 more of those guys came in and, start trying to noodle around. I'm like, okay, I'm out of here.
I'll tell you though, the worst
Decision made.
The worst noodling section of Guitar Center is the drum section. I can't even go in there. Can't.
There's that guy that just wants to get on the drum set because it's got the double kickers, and he's just it's like on it. He's like, no, these other kids don't have a double kicker. Yeah.
I feel like my experience at walking into a Guitar Center is always the same. I walk in, someone's like, hey, and I'm like, hey, and I look over and there's some long-haired dudes, shredding over, in the area, and then kind of glance up nonchalantly and then go back to their shredding. And then there's, it's always
so
the, and then there's
funny.
Then there's the kid that's going.
so right.
yeah.
Like hitting one string, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Then there's the long-haired dude who works there who's like, hey, you need help with anything? Huh? It's always the same, but it's the environment's just like top notch for sure.
Well, guys, seriously, thank you for carving out time for us and coming on and talking with us about
this has to end.
about your journey.
No.
I know. I don't want it to end either. I love
So much fun.
I love talking to you
It's
guys.
been a blast, and what you guys do for the community, and not just viewers, but for other broadcasters, it means the world to me, and I know to everyone else that's in this community. So we wouldn't be the same without you guys. So I'm really glad that you guys do what you
Thank
do.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for being true to yourselves, authentic, vulnerable, and very, very supportive to other folks. I know whenever you come into my chat, it's always, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't see that you did till later. And then I message you and I'm like, I'm so sorry. But honestly, just having that vote of confidence when those quality people and those good musicians, and those good people come in and want to come say hi to me, that is a confidence booster for me.
Awesome.
So, thank you for me, and probably from a whole bunch of other people that you've done the same thing for.
Yeah. And where can people find you guys if they haven't found you already?
Well, we stream on Twitch, and our Twitch name is TwoGuys1Couch. TWO guys, the number 1, and then the word couch. 2guys1Couch.
Yep. We have a Twitter and all that good stuff. So if you want to find us that way, you can do that too.
2guys1 Twitch is our Twitter handle. If you want to find us that way.
I love that. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, 2guys1Couch was taken on Twitter, so we had to
What?
do...
What?
Yeah. Can you believe that? So we had to do 2guys1 Twitch, but it worked out. It worked.
Yeah, and it's an
Riot.
inactive account too. I was pretty salty.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Ooh, that always
I know.
happens. Gosh darn
Well,
it.
we'll see you guys soon here in about a month, right?
Yeah,
Less than a month.
A month exactly, almost to the day.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait to meet y'all again, see y'all again, and we'll have a lot of fun.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's going to be
Right
great.
on. Right on.
Perfect. Thanks again. And please stay tuned for our next episode. We will be featuring Vargan,
Yeah.
who is a classically trained cellist and a teacher and an overall super awesome, positive guy. Really, really excited to have him
And he
on.
has very large feet. He left his sandals here in my studio a couple weeks ago. Very large feet.
That's so funny.
We love him.
Such a
I can't
random
wait to
fact.
talk
Yeah,
to
Var
him.
is an awesome guy for sure. We spent a significant amount of time with him out at TwitchCon. So yeah, make sure you guys stop in next week and check out that one too, because he's super awesome.
It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
For sure.
And also, please follow the Saving Music Live Twitch account, where there will be streams benefiting Mr. Holland's Opus, which works to keep music in public schools. And that will also be where we broadcast our live streaming during the music retreat in January. So definitely keep your eye on Saving Music Live as well.
We'll broadcast our long good nights every night.
Indeed.
But guys, thanks again, and it was
Thank you.
an
for
honor
having
to
us.
have you here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Until next time, guys. Bye bye.
Adios.
Thanks,
care.
guys.
The world is on fire and no one can save me but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. And I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. And I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. wicked game to play to make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say, you never felt that way. What a wicked thing to do, to make me dream of you. And I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you.
Let's do like a little bit longer solo.
The world is on fire and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. And I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. And I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you.